You're looking at a bunch of independent guys that don't know how to get no heat. They don't know how to work. That's the problem. So what they're doing is what they've seen other people do, and they're just trying to see if it'll work for them. Why would you go out there and set yourself on fire and do all this stuff to your body when it's not called for? You're not even on WWE or TV or AEW's TV. So it makes no sense at all, man. These guys need to stop and think.
Let me ask you guys something. We got a little bit of time here. Yeah. Well, we got a little bit of time here, and I want to throw something in here we haven't got on the list. But when it comes to these death matches, I see these things in videos all the time. People falling off of a two-story building down onto light tubes in a pickup truck. With things like boxes and tools up underneath of it. There is nothing safe about this. Do you, as wrestling fans and people who've been in the business this long, do you look at that type of wrestling and think it's called wrestling? Do you believe that's wrestling?
It's hardcore wrestling. That's how I look at it. It's a different genre of pro wrestling. It's hardcore.
What's the advantage to these guys, though? I mean, you look in some of the places like GCW, and I'm not trying to call anybody out. That's the one that's coming to mind right now. But when you see some of the things that these guys go through, I mean, they are bloody, head to toe, tearing up themselves with light tubes, glass, nails, you name it. They're doing it, lighting themselves on fire, dropping each other on top of their heads. What is the advantage to this sport? I mean, you can't continue to do that forever, Teddy.
Because you're looking at a bunch of independent guys that don't know how to get no heat. They don't know how to work. That's the problem. So what they're doing is what they've seen other people do, and they're just trying to see if it'll work for them. Why would you go out there and set yourself on fire and do all this stuff to your body when it's not called for? You're not even on WWE or TV or AEW's TV. So it makes no sense at all, man. These guys need to stop and think. But when you got a bunch of indie guys, they ain't telling them no better. Oh yeah, man, I think that's good, great. You guys look great, because they don't know any better either. So it's just that these guys have no direction, and they don't have anybody that telling them that it's the wrong thing to do.
Well, some of the indie guys, like in GCW, are really good wrestlers, but as long as they sell tickets, and they sell out all the time, as long as they sell tickets because of these daring things that they're doing, they're not going to stop it. And it means so much to some of these guys to go back to the dressing room and, hey, oh man, that was great. Oh man, you cut yourself. Hey, cool, man.
But right, how long can you do that?
Not only that, but the safety issue, not just from the potential injuries that you could get from the matches, but bloodborne diseases from sharing blood in the ring. There's so much that could go wrong in those matches. I'm surprised that there's not somebody out there. And again, I'm not trying to get anybody shut down, but some of this is crazy what I see on videos. And I'm thinking, how are they allowed to do this in a public setting? And if you're a wrestler, go back and watch those matches. Those fans are only cheering for the blood, for the violence.
Because the state athletic commissions no longer control pro wrestling in most states. That's why you can get away with it. Something that surprised me was recently on Monday Night Raw on Netflix was the bloody match between Jimmy Uso and Gunther, where he bloodied Uso like really bad, and then you could see the blood all over Gunther as well. You're talking about bloodborne diseases and stuff. That shocked me on WWE. Even though it was Netflix, it shocked me.
Yeah, I think that in controlled settings, like if Jay is going out there and he's the only one that gets juice or blood.
Or it was Jimmy.
Or Jimmy, if he's the one that's getting, bloodied up and he's the only one, then you really don't have too many worries to concern, because there's nobody else that's bleeding with you. It's your own blood. But when you have more than one person bleeding in the ring, that's when things really change. And also how clean that mat is. I'm sure WWE cleans their mats on a regular basis, and those mats are pristine when they get in there to perform in. So really the issue of him bleeding is kind of, minimal, really.
What I want to know, is blood now the new direction of some of the WWE shows? It's there on AEW quite a bit, especially in John Moxley matches.
Yeah.
But is WWE going in the direction of bloodbaths?
I have no problem with that, Teddy. I think that'd be okay as long as it's not overdone.
That's what I was going to say. I think if they do go in that direction, they're not going to overdo it. You know, they're not going to, it's a thing called overkill.
Yes.
And they're not going to do that. You know what I mean? I think with WWE, if they're going to have some brutal matches loaded with blood, they're going to save that and make that mean something. That will be for a major show, WrestleMania or SummerSlam or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't see any sense in doing it on TV. I tease it maybe on TV, give them a little tease, and then when they saw the real thing, it'd be pay-per-view.
Yeah, they were showing the brutality of Gunther because now there's doubt whether Jey Uso would be able to beat Gunther, and they really showcased that he's that animal that they're trying to push.
Now you go right back to just what I said. They did that so it meant something. Okay,
Yes,
now that meant something.
Yeah, and the reason for that is if you use blood occasionally, the people who are there in the stands and people who are watching going, oh, well, they don't bleed on this show. That must be real. That's when you get the fans. That's when they're like, oh, whoa, that's blood. You know,
you don't need it every night. And you don't need it in every match.
No.
Correct.
No.
Guys, we're running out of time. I do want to mention that all three of us will be appearing in St. Louis for the SICW Fan Fest 3. We're looking forward to that as the three amigos will be there. Bill, anything coming up for you want to talk about?
I'll be at WrestleMania week. I'll be there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be at the Westgate Hotel where WrestleCon is taking place, so come and say hello, and then I'll be covering all the WWE events.
Teddy, what about you?
This Friday I'll be in Westminster, South Carolina at the high school there for a big wrestling match and a big meet and greet, so see all the players there Friday night.
All right.
That sounds good. All right, I'm Mac Davis. I'm your host. That is WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Teddy Long, and of course, legendary pro wrestling journalist Mr. Bill Apter. We'll see you again next week.
We'll see you at the matches. Holler at him, Teddy.
Holla!